What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY and the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposits $2,000 and you're guaranteed 30. Anyways, I mentioned in my morning video, SPY could break past 595. We're looking for a push to fill this gap above. If we couldn't hold above 595, we're looking for a rejection. So in the morning, SPY pushed and we got this rejection back down. And then what happened was, as time progressed, we got this huge pump right back up. So what is going on? Why is the market so volatile? What news came out? We have a huge update involving the tariffs. So the news is coming out that Mexico's president is saying that the Trump tariffs have been delayed for 1 month because they came up with a big deal. So this is huge news. The tariffs on Mexico are delayed by 1 month. They also mentioned that the German chancellor is saying that they want the EU to come together to face a lot of cooperation. They want to cooperate with one another in the face of potential tariffs on European exports. So that's some new news that's come out. But let's talk about what's happening in Mexico. So this is huge news. Donald Trump is going to temporarily pause tariffs on Mexico after these new agreements have been made. So I actually saw some quotes from the Mexican president. These tariffs are delayed by 1 month as a result of the fact that Mexico have agreed that they're going to be deploying 10,000 National Guard immediately at the border to once again help deal with some issues. So that's some big news that's come out. So one of the things that I mentioned is that tariffs could be used for not only trade but also for negotiation, and that's the tactic that Trump was using to cause Mexico to do these different things that could benefit the U.S. So that's what Trump has been trying to do. That's a decent piece of news. If anything, the tariffs are delayed temporarily. We'll see if the rates change or not. That could also be subject to change depending on what else they negotiate. But for now, as soon as that news came out, the market shot right back up. So it's very important to be very, very on top of all of this. So when it comes to our other pieces of data that came out, the manufacturing numbers were all very close to expectations. When they still came out, the market actually dipped a bit more before we saw this big bounce. So on SPY, we're going to be looking for this resistance where this gap is between 599 to 600. If we could hold above that, we're looking for a bigger push back up towards the 602 to 603 area. If we can't get back above 600, and that's my warning for everyone. Yes, I could try to go a little higher, but be careful. Once this forms the top, I do expect this to actually dip back down. We won't be revisiting these lows again if we get a big rejection. So watch and see, can SPY reclaim 600? If it doesn't do that, we might be on our way right back down. And I do lean a little bit more towards that direction. So we'll see, just to be safe. For now, it could push a little bit more, but let's see if we break past 600 or not. If we can't, we will be turning back down. The triple Q made a big move to the upside. We broke past 515. I said if we break that, look for a push closer to about this gap fill near 519. We basically filled the gap up here. So if we could reclaim 520, we're looking for a push back up to about 521, then 523. If we don't hold above 520, we're looking for a move back down towards 515. So keep that in mind. Let's see if we could hold above 520 or not on the QQQ. If it can't, it will turn back down. It will push a little bit more from here, but we'll see, just to be safe. The Russell got a nice bounce to fill this gap back up to about 225. If we hold above this, we're looking for a bigger push. And if we can't do that, we're looking for a move back down to 223. If that fails us, I'm looking for this imbalance. We'll back it down to 221. So watch those levels. We'll see if we get hold above 225 or not. If we can't, we're going to be turning back down. ES pumped. We're actually close to filling this gap. If we manage to hold above 6,000 flat, we're looking for 6,025 as resistance, and eventually this gap fill around 6,055. If we can't hold above that, though, it might just push a bit more and then reject. So I'd like to see if we can hold above 6060. If not, it might just push higher than reject. So look at the 200 EMA and the 30 minutes time frame around 6060. Can ES hold above that? If we come short, it could turn right back down towards the 5950s. So look for more upside, and then we'll see if we get a rejection. So please be careful. NQ has a little bit more upside potential near our 200 EMA at the 21,500s. To be bullish, you want to break out of those, and if we don't hold above the 21,500s, we could turn back down. Might be a push and rejection. If we do reject, we're looking for a move right below the 21,300s, so give it some time. But I do anticipate a little bit more upside, especially as we have this gap up here. Might push a little bit more, but then be careful once we hit that resistance. Bitcoin's trying to push for 99,200 to about 100,000. If we hold above 101,000, this could remain bullish again and start pushing up. If we can't hold above 100,000 at the very least, we have a risk of turning back down towards the 97,000 area. So just keep that in mind. For Nvidia, we're trying to rebound here. We have a gap to fill, so we'll have to see if we could get back above 117.68. If we hold above 117.68, I'm looking for this potential gap for 119. Might try to go a little higher, but then be careful because the real level is like 120. So even if we get back above 117.68, we're not in the clear yet. I want to see it hold above 120. If it can't hold above that, then it might just push and return back down towards these lows. So just be careful. It's not officially done. Tesla dumped quite a bit, but it's trying to get back to the 4-hour 200 EMA, and I didn't mention this is a very important level. So see the trend line right here, not the trend line, the EMA, the 200 EMA, the red line right here. This is what Tesla's trying to hold. It dumped only to get bought back up, so we'll see if Tesla closes above or below this. If we get back above 392, we're looking for that potential push for about just under 400. If we can't hold above 392, we're looking for this to shuffle around 386. And if we close below that, there's going to be a risk of more downside. So keep those levels in mind. There is that risk of downside nonetheless. For Apple, it got a rejection. It dipped all the way down to about 226, the same level I called out. If that fails us, we're looking for 223. And if you want to be bullish, you want to get back above 234. So watch your levels very closely. There's still that risk of a bit more downside. Coin is trying to bounce. We're looking for this gap fill for about 290. If we could hold above 290, we're looking for a push towards the mid levels. And if we end up dipping, if we can't hold above 290, we could dip back down towards 280. So I'm looking for a little bit of a push to 290, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get. For Amazon, we pushed very, very nicely to about 238. Now we're slowing. So we're essentially stuck in this range between 233 and 240. That's all I'm seeing on Amazon for now until earnings comes out. Meta dumped only to pump back up after this news. We're looking for essentially 700 as our target. Meta is very resilient, so we'll see if this could hold above 700 or not. It's a tough resistance, but it might push a little bit more. Microsoft dumped pretty much all the way down to about 404 only to rebound. We're looking at 413-ish as our main resistance. If we get back above that, I'm looking for an attempt for 418. If we can't hold above 413, we could be dipping back down towards like 408. And then for Google, we're on a nice uptrend. We dumped only to bounce. So if we lose 201, we're looking for a dip to 198. As long as we're above 201, we could attempt to get back up to the high. So we'll see about this. So it might attempt to push higher if we, break past 204. Might try to push a bit more from here, but just be careful because we're watching to see if we could reclaim this high. So on Google, watch and see, do we break past this high to remain bullish to do something like this? Or do we fail to break the high? If we don't break this high, there's going to be a risk of us making a lower high here and then coming right back down towards below 202. So I'll be watching that very closely. That being said, I thank you for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.